Good evening, everyone. This is Ralph from Harold, the Soon Coming King. I'm not broadcasting to you from the foothills of the Appalachians. As I mentioned in my last video, I'd be traveling this week for work, and so I'm in the hotel room. And something that the Lord put in my heart as I was traveling from home to the city that I'm in, and this evening, He just put it on my heart and to the point that I needed to feel that I needed to put it on video and share with everyone. It goes back in a dream that the Lord has given me. Actually, I want to share two dreams, but the primary one is the first. The Lord shared with me back on October the 10th of this year the following dream. And I believe today He gave me an understanding of what it was that He showed me. I was sitting in a driveway in an old truck. It was a bit of an antique truck, really old in what it was, the truck itself, but in really good shape. And there was somebody I knew, a friend of mine, standing next to me, and I was waiting for someone or something. I believed it was someone to come out of the house and of whose driveway that I was in. And while I was waiting there, the truck began to lift at the front end, the engine side, as it were, began to lift into the air while the back end stayed in place. And it flipped upside down. As it flipped upside down, and as it was doing that, it became separated, the top half from the bottom half. And as it flipped over, it began to split. And then as it came to rest on its back, or the top of the roof of the cab, it had come back together. And it looked like initially that it had come back together perfectly, that it had just settled back together. So I got out of the truck and I looked at it, and I had asked my friend as it was happening, what was going on, and he didn't know. So as I got out of the truck to look at it, I noticed that although it appeared at first glance to have come back together perfectly, indeed it had not. It was offset. It was not perfectly backed together. And then immediately the vision shifted to the truck being upright. And as I looked at the truck, it was badly damaged. It was badly damaged. It had taken a lot of damage on all aspects of the truck. And there was written something on the side of the truck that was in chalk, and it was a warning of types. I didn't know what it was that was written, but when I saw it, I knew immediately that this had been a satanic attack. In the dream, I knew this. And as I was looking at that and coming to that realization, the scene moved then to me back sitting in the truck. Oh, by the way, the truck had turned around back again. So obviously instead of being facing back in the opposite direction because it fell backwards, it had now not only righted itself, but it was pointing back in the right direction, or the original direction, as it were. So now I'm back in the truck, back in the driveway, having noticed all these things, and I see the person for whom I was waiting coming out of the house. And I remember recalling that this person coming out of the house was somebody that I thought I knew to be very friendly. But the minute he walked out of the house, I knew that this was the man that was behind what had happened, and that he was evil. And that although he put on the best attempts to look like the nice man that I thought he was, it was clear in my mind that he was evil. And then I moved on to some other dreams that I don't want to share at this point. But this dream, as I've thought about it, prayed about it, the Lord really put it in my mind, in my heart today, that this was a symbol of what was happening and had happened and is going to happen to the country. That the antique truck is representing the United States, which has many years. It had been here for a long period of time, and that it was being lifted up and being separated, the North from the South, that it was a country being separated in every aspect. And when it came back together, it appeared that it was fine, but in actuality, it was not fine. And that was clearly made known when it was right back up, as it were, the way that it had been, and I saw all the damage that had occurred, not only from the fall, i.e. the roof of the truck, but it was damaged on all sides, and there had been a warning on that, and of that warning was of some type of satanic attack against the United States. I don't know what that was. The Lord didn't give me anything more on that, nor the writing on the side of the truck, but that just this is coming. And when the person behind it is obviously the person that I was waiting for, and that person had the appearance of being a good person, a nice person, but wasn't at all. I believe that is representative of the Antichrist, that this is a Antichrist type individual. It could be the Antichrist, but at least is a person of an Antichrist spirit that's behind this satanic attack. And so I don't know, as we're taping this, it is October the 22nd, Monday evening, and I don't know, excuse me, I don't know the timing of this. I don't know when this is coming and what it's representative of that. But I felt, like I said, an urgency that I should tape this and tonight and upload this. And so we'll see what the Lord wants to do with that. The other thing was, I just felt that there was another dream the Lord had given me, and it may or may not be tied in together with this dream, but it just one that had gone back. And that occurred, let me look at my dates here, on August 19th of this year. It was a brief dream, but it was the state of New York, not New York City, but the state of New York. And at the very northernmost part of the state, something had erupted. I don't know if it was a volcano or a fissure in the earth, but hot magna poured out from the state of New York at the northernmost part, like literally at the Canadian border, but somewhere in the north, and came down the middle of the state, and it literally split the state in half. There was great destruction that occurred. And the Lord did follow this up in the following night with some additional dreams of destruction, which I'm not going to share here, but it was specific, that dream on the 19th of August, to the state of New York. And so the Lord just impressed it on my heart that I should share that as well. Again, I don't know if one is connected to the other, and that's why the Lord would have me to share that, or they're two separate events. I don't know their timing, if one is much more into the future or here. But I will say that one of the things that occurred to me is remembering a prophecy, and I believe it was John Fenn, and it was posted, I had seen it in a repost from Melissa at Midnight Hour Oil some time ago, about a vision multiple years ago, and you can look up John Fenn, F-E-N-N, and he'll be able to give you the dream specifically, where the Lord had showed him 3 earthquakes that were coming, and one of those I remembered, or came back to my remembrance, having seen that many, many months ago, but this evening it came back to my remembrance, that he had mentioned that one of those, he had seen the other 2 very specifically, but one of those was a place that was not commonly known for earthquakes. And so I just remembered that. I'm not saying that that's a absolute connection to New York, but of course New York is not known for volcanic eruptions. It's not known for any kind of molten activity that I'm aware of, and maybe it is, and I'm unaware of that. But I wanted to share that this evening, and I would ask those people in the state of New York to pray about that and see what the Lord might give you. For those in the United States, be aware that the Lord has put in my heart that there has been a satanic attack that either has occurred or is about to occur in the United States, and that it divides us in a very subtle way, a way that we don't realize has occurred, but indeed it has occurred, and the damage then will be self-evident. It's been caused by this individual. So unless the Lord gives me something more this evening, that's all I have for you this evening, and pray that the Lord keep you and keep you in the palm of his hand in all things. And until the next time, this is Ralph from Herald, the Soon Coming King.